ले जाओ, मुझे नहीं खाना। क्लास है मेरी भाई। अरे थोड़ी किसी वक्त मुड़ाएगा, खाने लगे चलाएं।
ब्रेक है ना?
नहीं भाई, 10:30 से देर हो गया।
Hello, good morning everyone.
Good morning sir.
Jamshed sir, very good morning.
Good morning.
Vinod, very good morning.
Good morning to you all.
Good morning Vinod.
Good morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Abdul. So,
Good morning, sir.
Abdul, will we wait for some more people to join?
So let's give it 2-3 minutes more if that's possible.
Because Vinod has a hard stop at 11:55. So we should plan accordingly. So Vinod, while we are waiting for few more people to join, and Dr. Jamshed will be formally inaugurating the program. Let me just give you a quick intro about this series. So this is our third session in the series on careers on career opportunities for management students, and this has been going on for every Saturday. We have been conducting it. So yours is the third session. The previous two sessions were taken by people from HR domain. So we thought, this time it will be good to get a different perspective. On the call today would be students from management, that is MBA as well as BBA, right? And we are expecting at least 150 students. You can look forward to a very participative discussion. A lot of questions have already been mentioned while people have them, and we might have a few more while the program is going on. So had come in fact, Padmanabhan called me after the program, and he complimented me, and he asked me to convey the message that he really actually enjoyed the session. The quality of questions that were raised, the decorum which was maintained throughout the session, the quality of moderation. I have shared your feedback with him. So let's continue and raise the bar this time.
Environment for one and a half hour, and welcome all of our students, a special guest, the speaker Vinod sir, uh, we was you was a talk of the our online campus in these weeks, and the students has prepared everything by themselves. And this time uh, we have not put most of the things. I suppose, Nakisa, are you agreed on that? That we have not put in most of the things, and the students has planned, and the audience and everything is being done by them only. Uh, so good morning and warm welcome, and hopefully this we will be able to get some new things from you. And if anything you feel that we want to adopt in our entire process, you please at the end please give us the guidance. We will inshallah learn and start that to follow. So Abdul Hanan, can you begin with the day as we was doing? So the program
Yes,
is
sir.
about to start, and we will not wait for anyone. Okay, take care.
Yes, sir, of course. So let me just start. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Almighty, the most gracious, the most merciful, I'd like to start today's webinar. A very good morning and warm morning to everyone present here, teachers, students, and my dear friends. My name is Abdul Hanan, and today I'm joined by co-coordinators and moderators Afsba Fatima, BBA and BBA coordinator Shabana Khatun, digital marketing coordinator Saurabh, promotion coordinators Nilofar and Mehak. Today, we also have students from BBA and MBA, so we are expecting most participations noted down as we are going to have a Q&A session at the end. So let me introduce you to today's personality and the speaker. Just give me a moment, I'll just share the PPT. Is it visible, sir?
Yeah.
So let me talk about today's personality business vice president marketing Valvoline-Cummins Limited, vice chief marketing officer. CEO and conversion status presently. And I'd also like to mention that so works at CEAT Limited in 1998 to February 2013. This is massive stability, and we'll also like to mention this how he achieved this in his work experience. Take for the presentation now.
Thank you,
Hello,
Abdul.
Rakita.
Thank you, Dr. Jamshed for. Hello. Hello, Abdul. I am audible and visible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You please go ahead.
Right. So thank you, Dr. Jamshed, and thank you, Abdul, for the introduction and for introducing the faculty and sharing the guidelines of the session. So I am delighted that we have with us Vinod today. Of course, Vinod and me go back a long way. We had an overlapping period of about 6 years, during which I was a part of the HR team, and he was obviously a marketing leader at the company. And we have a lot of happy memories from that association, one of which stands out, and maybe Vinod will talk about it in the session. I don't know, some of you may be aware about it, was the rebranding that CEAT went through. The company was the earlier tagline of the company was, born tough, and which was later, now there is a new logo, there is a new identity to the company. There was a campaign, change is good. I don't know if some of you remember that. So that was, something very rare that a company goes for a name, for a rebranding. It happens very rarely, once or twice in the entire lifetime of the company. So Vinod was there, and he would maybe talk about that experience as well. So especially for students of sales and marketing, I mean, I would, you can say that today is the best possible platform you have to interact with such a senior person who has, right from where you are, at the doorstep of launching your career. He also started that long time back, and reach to a CMO level in multiple organizations connected to automobile. So all those of you who are especially looking at a career in sales and marketing, while people from other domain can also pitch in with their questions, but especially for people who are from the sales and marketing domain who want to make a career in this very exciting field, today is the day to get all your queries answered, right? So with that quick introduction, Vinod, thank you so much. I know you had to juggle your schedule in order to be able to be here for this session, and that just shows your commitment to share all of your immense learning with the students, and that's how we take the employability journey forward in the country. So Vinod, welcome once again, and over to you.
Thank you, Naki. Am I audible, clear?
Yes, Vinod. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Naki, and thank you, Dr. Mohammad Jamshed. Thank you for this opportunity to interact with all of you. And it's always great to be back on campus with all youngsters and with all the energy of a very young group. So basically today I will be talking about my journey in sales and marketing over the last 24 years. Because as I was introduced in one of the earlier slides, I've done a lot of roles and a lot of different stints, and each one was responsible in enriching my learning and enriching my career and grow. I have one request. Can we mute because there's a lot of background noise. Whoever is not on mute, or Naki, can you mute everybody?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. So I will spend some time sharing my career journey, and I will talk about some important learnings I've had in each of my roles. And then I will come to what are the different roles that you can look forward, especially in sales and marketing at the beginning of a career. What are the skills and mindsets and traits required to be successful in those roles? How to choose what would be the right role for you? I'll give some guidelines on that. There are no hard and fast rules. So you know yourself and your personality and your ambitions better than anybody else. So ultimately, the decision you'll have to make, but I can give you the guideposts to channel your thinking on that. And then, of course, there are a lot of questions which I got yesterday, Naki had sent me. So many of them would probably be answered in the slide, 3-4 slides which I have made, and some may not be there, so we can take those questions separately. So I'll just start by sharing my screen. One second. Is it visible now? Naki, I'm having some issue sharing. Can you share if possible?
I will put it up.
Yeah, and I'll just guide you when to click. So.
Right. Yes, I'm on it, Vinod.
Yes. So yeah. So you can. Yeah. So I hope everybody is. No, you can go to the first one. You'll have to put it on slideshow. Is it possible to do that?
I can do that, but then I will not be able to see the chat.
I'll see that. No problem.
Okay. Sure.
Uh, so, as I said earlier, and of course, the agenda is to look at the career options in sales and marketing and what are the skills and mindsets required to make a successful career there. Uh, so I will start with my own journey in sales and marketing. You can go to the next slide. Yeah, just click once. Yeah. So as in my introduction earlier, I had started as a management trainee in sales and marketing. It was a one-year training program where we were put through in the first 6 months cross-functional training across various different functions in an organization: sales, marketing, supply chain, finance, HR, manufacturing, and then 6 months hardcore training in sales, 3 months in sales and 3 months in marketing. And after that, you can click. And after that, I was posted in a territory sales role. So my first posting was in Vishakhapatnam, looking after coastal Andhra Pradesh. And one of the best things about a sales job is that you get to travel and see and live in places which you have never been before in your lives. So I spent some time in Vishakhapatnam, and then I moved to Delhi. I had another territory sales stint, short one at Delhi, and then I got elevated to a state role in CEAT. It used to be called a regional role, where I was looking after Rajasthan, the entire sales in Rajasthan. I had a team under me of about 20 people, sales, commercial. I was running basically the Jaipur office of CEAT. And there, in that role, I had two stints. One was in Jaipur, looking after Rajasthan, and the other was in Belgaum in North Karnataka, looking after North Karnataka and Goa region. So this gives a lot of exposure in terms of understanding the different markets, the different geographies. So I worked in North, then I worked in South, different types of channels, different types of dealers, different mindsets, different types of customers, and so on. So it's very enriching. The advice I have for you here is that in the initial part of your career, especially if you are looking at a sales career, at least the first 3 to 5 years, try and work in markets or areas which are away from your home. One, it will help you get out of your comfort zone. Second, it will help you see the world in a different light because you would have grown up in your hometown for so many years. You would be conditioned to a certain way of life, of certain way of looking at customers. The variation in thinking, the variation in people you meet may not be as high. But if you go out in the first few years, especially in different geographies and different cities, different states, the learning is very rich, and you also learn to understand and adapt to different areas, different cultures, personalities, and so on, which in the long run will help you a lot. So after spending the first close to 5 years in sales, I moved to head office in Mumbai, CEAT's head office, in a marketing role, handling the farm category. So basically, it was looking after all the product management and branding of sorry, all the product management and branding and marketing related aspects of the farm category, which is essentially tractor tires and all agri related tire products. I spent some time there. Then I moved to another product category, which was the commercial tires, which was truck and bus and LCV tires, which was the largest in terms of business for CEAT. It used to handle almost 60% of the revenue of the company. Uh, so after that product management stint across two different categories, I was elevated as a category head. So I was category head for the entire commercial vehicle segment, which was tractors, bus, um, truck, trailers, and off-highway tires. The big tires which you see on JCBs, earth mover, and port equipments. So entire commercial category head is what I did that. That stint was for about 2.5 years. Next. And then I moved back to sales at a national level role. So that was a role called sales development. It is basically a role many companies have wherein you work to develop systems and processes in the sales organization. So how a territory management has to happen? How do you plan your? How does a salesman plan his day? How do you plan the business for the month? How do you do the market mapping and all that? So that was a sales development role and setting up the process for the entire organization. And that was also the time when CEAT went into ERP. So I was leading that for the sales and marketing side. And it also had a lot of new business development which happened. So new channels, new geographies. So for example, we set up a entirely new sales team looking after only rural markets. So earlier the focus was on big cities, big transport centers because it's a tire company. Then we started focusing on rural markets because this was somewhere around 2006 2007 period when rural markets in India had started doing very well. Demand in rural areas started growing. That is when the full impact of liberalization, which started in early 90s, started reaching the small towns and villages, and people there were getting more uh, uh, progressive and more, in terms of their ability to purchasing power was improving. So the markets were developing. So we set up a separate rural sales team. So I led that initiative also. Yeah, next. Then after that, I also did a role where I was heading the specialty tires business. Now, specialty tires is, as the name itself suggests, these are not common tires which you see in the road in your common vehicles like car or bus or two wheelers and so on. These are basically agri implements and industries. They are used like in the mines, mining tires, sport tires, and so on. So that was a big segment. It is one of the most profitable segments in the industry, and I drove that business for CEAT. It was a national and an international role. Almost 60% of the business came from outside the country. Yeah. Then after that, I was elevated as head of marketing for the company. So this was a period when Nati was mentioning, we went for the entire rebranding, rebranding program at CEAT. Now, I'll just spend a minute on that, what we did. So CEAT was a company which was set up in the year 1958. So in 2008-9 was when the company had completed 50 years. And then we realized that the image of the company is one of a very old company, which is, which was the younger generation was not able to relate to it. It was seen as a company which was only into truck and bus tires and not into new age categories like motorcycles, cars, SUV, which was the growth segment. So we decided to give our brand a new, young, premium, dynamic look and feel. And that is how we did the research. We did a lot of analysis, spoke to a lot of customers and other stakeholders, and came out with the new logo, which is there, even today. I'll share that in a while. So that was a very exciting process. Changes here, and then it evolved. Like today, the whole, if you look at CEAT ads, it talks of CEAT, it helps. So it has become a kind of a partner for people who drive vehicles. It's a very reliable friend. It's a very safe. Safety is a big position which CEAT promotes. The safest tires, the best grip on the roads. Even the new ad which has Amir Khan, where he's the dummy, the crash test dummy, it talks about safety, right? So the entire positioning from a bomb tough, which was focused entirely on trucks and carrying heavy load on trucks and all that, to a more modern, consumer-centric kind of branding is what the journey the brand is undertaking. And then I had moved to another company, which was Valvoline-Cummins, which is an American MNC. And there also I did a role of head of marketing for about 2.5 years. And then I moved to Volvo-Eicher, trucks and buses, where again I headed the marketing function there. And after that stint, yeah, next one. I came back to RPG Group, which is the parent organization of CEAT. And I joined a company called KC International, which is now the biggest company in the group. It's a power transmission infrastructure company. And I was heading the cables business as a SBU head with profit and loss responsibility for the entire business of close to 1,200 crores a year. So that was the stint which I did for about 2 years, and then little less than 2 years, and then the entrepreneurship bug bit me, and I wanted to do something on my own. And so last year in April, I moved out of corporate life, and with three other partners, we set up SAN Network, which is basically a communications and customer conversion agency, and we also provide sales, marketing, and business consultancy to businesses. In the beginning, in one of the chat boxes I had seen, somebody had asked, "What is SAN conversions?" So, SAN conversions is initiative which we offer to our clients who want to convert their customers or influencers to their brands. So, for example, there are a lot of companies or brands in the country who may not have a national sales team, who may not have a sales team in a particular rural market. So, what we do for them is that in those markets, our feet on street, they go map the market, identify the retailers or the influencers. Say, influencer could be a mechanic for a tire company, a painter for a paint company, a contractor for a cement company. So we identify the retailers and the influencers, talk to them about the brand of the product, and then connect them back with the company to buy their product. So that is, we go from mapping to converting the customer or the influencer. So that is what SAN conversions is about. I hope that answers the question. So that's my journey of 24 years, which is here. Yeah, Nakil, you can just click. So the major brands, yeah, you can keep doing that. Which I have worked, as I said, CEAT, Valvoline-Cummins, VOLVO-Eicher, KC International, and now SAN Network. In between, I had small stints in Apollo and Birla Tires. They were very small stints, possibly, kind of short-term roles. But my large part of my career has been spent in these four companies and now with SAN Network. So, so that's my journey. We can go to the next slide. Now, coming to, what are the options that youngsters like you who are, kind of in the next 1 or 2 years, you would be starting your careers, and how do you choose, or what are the options available for you? Okay, I'll spend some time on that. So I've just tried to put a few pointers, and which can serve as guiding posts for you. Then ultimately you have to take a call, because I believe I should put all the options in front of you, and then you can think about it, discuss with your teachers, your friends, your family, your peers, and figure out where would be the right fit. So basically today, we are at a situation where we have multiple industry options, right? If you look at the generation which was, say, maybe just before I started working, or my parents' generation, say the before 90s, people who used to, before liberalization, people who entered the job market. The options were not many. A lot of jobs were government jobs. People wanted to get into government jobs because of the security and the cushy lifestyle and all that. And industries were very few. You had some big groups like Tatas and Birlas and Godrej's, and then there were some MNCs like Hindustan Lever and all. The options were not many. But if you look at today, the options to get into are many. The industries, the type of industries, new industries have come in. So, for example, entertainment. Okay, today you can work with a Amazon Prime or a Hotstar. You can digital education. Digital education never existed about 10 years back. It's a new booming industry, right? Agriculture as an industry where MBAs can get jobs never existed many years back. Agriculture meant you can either be a farmer or a fertilizer and seed retailer or an agri professor, right? But today there are a lot of sales and marketing jobs in agriculture. Agriculture is getting corporatized. There are a lot of options. Sales, marketing is required to promote brands and so on. So there are a lot of industries where you can choose from: consumer products, industrial products, services industry is growing, it's huge. Uh, Entertainment, media is huge. Earlier, 20, 25 years back, there was only Doordarshan. Today, you have close to 500 plus channels which are doing well in the country, and you can get a lot of sales and marketing jobs in those channels, whether they are the national ones like Times Now or NDTV or India Today, or local or regional ones like say eNadu or Sun TV. There are a lot of options there. Automobile, of course, is huge. It's an industry which will always be there. Auto ancillaries like tires, batteries, all the other things which go into the automobile. That's a huge industry. Automobile and auto ancillary are one of the largest employers in the country. Education, I just mentioned, and a lot of now foreign universities are coming. Private universities are being set up. They all need to attract students, and that's the job of sales and marketing people to attract the students. While the teachers provide the content and the quality of education, you still need to be heard and be visible and be preferred in the huge number of private institutions which are coming up, education institutions which are coming up. Agriculture is becoming like an industry, right from food products to the input industries like fertilizers, seeds, pesticides, irrigation systems. Uh, uh, all that is now part of the agri industry, so that has huge scope. Hospitality, people travel a lot these days, so hospitality is a huge industry, hotels, entertainment, retreats, and so on. And of course, you would have seen in the last many months, healthcare and pharma companies are doing very well because people have realized you cannot take things for granted as far as health is concerned. And then financial services. Now, as people move from traditional saving methods or investing methods like gold and property, people are moving to things like mutual funds, shares, or other financial schemes. So there are a lot of players who offer that. So they need sales and marketing people to promote their brand and their companies and get more customers. Yeah, now you can click. Then, of course, the government as a sector is huge. There are a lot of work government is doing in various industries. They have also become more proactive in trying to promote their industries and the benefits and schemes which the government introduces for people, so that more citizens can come and avail of those benefits and they take advantage. So there's a lot of sales and marketing which goes on in government also. Then, of course, another big industry is the advertising and communications industry, which is again evergreen. It's always been there and always thriving. Real estate is another growing segment. Real estate is getting more savvy. Earlier, if you wanted to, buy an apartment, you look for a local builder, and then it was always more disorganized. Today, you have a lot of organized players. You have the Lodas, you have the Rahejas, you have the DLFs, you have so many players who are corporate real estate companies. They require sales and marketing people to, get customers to buy their properties and apartments and plots and all. Travel is again another huge one. The world has become a very small place, so people travel a lot. Of course, right now it's not there, but generally you would travel on holidays, you would travel on work. So that is a big industry. Another industry which is growing very well is analytics, data analytics and market research. So as information overload grows, with technology and digital world coming into focus, there are a lot of data which gets thrown at you, and it's very difficult to analyze the millions of data points which come to you. So you need specialized people who know how to analyze the data, sift through, and call out information which can be used to take decisions. So this is another strong area where people who have that analytical or research bent of mind can make a good career there. And then, of course, e-commerce is, I don't think I need to say much. You know about Amazon, you know about Flipkart. Reliance is getting into it big time. Tata is getting into it big time. Then you have a lot of other, so every industry is now getting into e-commerce. And e-commerce itself has become a big industry by itself. And linked to that is retail. While e-commerce will always be growing, the brick and mortar or the traditional retail will also continue to uh, grow. So that's a big segment. Then another industry which is not very prominent but is also a very exciting industry is the publishing industry. So whether it is book publishing or publishing, developing content online for any work, whether it is for as a job or whether it is for making a book, articles, research. So publishing as a career is also a good option. And one of the most glamorous ones which have emerged in the last, say, 10 years is sports management. Now with leagues like IPL, Indian Badminton League, Pro Kabaddi League, Indian Sports League, and especially cricket stars and tennis stars becoming as what do you say, attractive and for brands like film stars. So you have companies which are there set up to manage sports stars endorsements and all. So if you look at Dhoni or Virat Kohli being there in so many brands, there are sports management companies who are actually contracted with them to develop their brand and give them maximum endorsing and brand visibility. That is one part. The other part is organizing, say, an IPL. An IPL is a very elaborately organized industry in itself. Every year, close to 40,000 crores is the money involved. This is the formal money which is involved in an IPL, right from sponsorship, prize money, ticket sales, the entertainment and the travel which happens around with it, the brands who run contests. Um, uh, it's almost a 35-40,000 crore industry, IPL is alone. So like that, there's a huge scope for many other sports to come in. People are talking about making it big for football, for tennis, for hockey, and so on. So this will grow tremendously in the coming years. And then another one industry which is not very glamorously talked about, but does a lot of good work, and there are a lot of NGOs who need people to promote the NGOs in terms of going and attracting the beneficiaries. So if there's an NGO who does a certain kind of benefit for a certain section of society, now you need to reach out to those target beneficiaries so that they take advantage of the schemes and the initiatives they do. So you need to market the NGO for that. So there are roles in NGOs also, which can give very satisfying and enriching careers with sales and marketing. So these are basically some of the industries which came to my mind. There would be many more which you can think of, but these are broadly the ones. The ones which I have marked in italics are the ones which I feel will be booming in the next 10 to 15 years. That doesn't mean that the others won't. The others are also growing as our country, the prosperity of the population of our country as it grows, as the income levels rise, as the per capita income rise, every industry will grow because consumption will increase. Consumption of products, consumption of services, consumption of entertainment, content will all increase. As education level increases, a lot of things increase with that. So that will continue to grow for our country. Of course, during this year, things will be tight because of Corona and it's there everywhere. But I think over the next couple of quarters, you can see the boom coming back. Yeah, Naki can go to the next. Okay. Yeah, can we mute please?
Abdul, can you be participant on mute? Abdul, can you please put the participants on mute? Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So sales roles. Okay. So now that was a broad, list of industries and the prospects each of the industry which I covered. This slide I will focus on what is required in one sales role and marketing role. So let's do the. What are the types of roles which you can have? Now, when you look at sales, now there are a lot of elements in sales. There are a lot of different types of sales roles. So you can have a B2C sales role, which is business to consumer, where you're selling to a retail outlet or a large number of customers. So consumer products come under this category. Then you have B2B, which is basically selling to the business to business. So you are selling to another business. For example, you may be a manufacturer of industrial batteries. So a company which is setting up a factory would need an industrial battery as a backup power system. So you're selling to another business. So that is B2B. Then you have B2G, which is you sell to government. Okay, so there are a lot of products which the government buys. So there are companies who specialize in selling to government, or for them a major part of their business comes from government business. So you can look at that. Then territory management, like you handle a district or few districts or part of a state. So you look after the entire sales in that area. You look after the, you are responsible for selling to retailers or distributors in that market. It can be a direct role where you handle the distributors directly, or it could be you can be a territory manager who may have one or two, territory executives under. The other type of role is key accounts. This is basically, say, suppose you are working with Wipro in their software development team as a marketing, sales and marketing person. So you will be given a few key accounts. So key accounts is basically other companies who want to buy your services. So you can be handling 3-4 important accounts, and you are responsible for growing revenue there and also for servicing them. Then there are lead generation roles, wherein you are given a specific geography or a customer's market segment, and your job is to find out who are the potential customers and then hand them over to the frontline sales team. Okay, he's a lead. He is the one who is a potential consumer. So you please now go and sell him your product. So lead generation of business development roles are there. Then you have telemarketing roles, which are there. So I'm not talking about the telephone calls which we get for credit cards and insurance schemes. but there are very focused telemarketing roles for very specialized products. So that is there. Then you have a sales engineer. If you're an engineer and you like to always be dealing with engineering products and all that, you can and you want to do sales, you can still be a sales engineer. So a company like say Siemens or Kirloskar Engines, uh, their salesperson would actually be an engineer who also sells. Right? So that's a sales engineer. Product sales is you are responsible in a company to for a particular product only. So a company may have 4 or 5 product lines. So for example, CEAT would have a motorcycle tire, it would have a car tire, it would have a tractor tire, a truck tire. Now, if it's arranged in a product sales way, so the sales executive on the front line, there will be one guy who would be selling only motorcycle tires. There will be one guy whose job is to sell only truck tires. So that's product sales. Then you have merchandising, which is basically it's kind of lies between sales and marketing. It is about displaying your products properly in a shop. So when in a shop, when the customer enters, which is the product which he sees first? Because as they say, "Jo dikta hai, wahi bikta hai." So how do you, in the physical environment, how do you merchandise? How do you display a product properly? How do you attract the customer? And there are a lot of science behind that. Then we have advertisement sales, online for print and so on. Direct sales is companies like say Amway or direct marketing companies where you actually go and directly sell to the customer. And then there are a lot of companies where you can start off as a management trainee, like I did in my start. Then you can be a channel salesperson. So channel sales is basically selling to retailers or distributors. So you would be given a territory where you might have say handle 10 distributors or 200 retailers whom you have to sell and meet your targets. And then account manager, similar to key account, but here you would be, say, if you are in an advertising agency and you're starting up your career, you would be given one customer, one client. So, for example, Ogilvy is the agency for CEAT. Now, somebody who's joining Ogilvy will be joining as an account executive, or if it's a smaller agency, they would be designated an account manager, whose job is only to look after CEAT and manage the work of CEAT. So that's an account manager. So these are all starting level roles in sales, which you can look at. Naki, next please. Now, what are the starting roles in marketing which you can look at? Product management is one, wherein you are responsible for a product category, and you are responsible for everything from its pricing, which market segment to play, what are the communication you want to do, what is the schemes you want to run to promote that, and also interacting with the technical or R&D team for the developing the product. Then we have brand management, which is largely about advertising and building a brand which you're working with. Channel marketing is all about marketing and growing the channels. So, for example, in CEAT, we used to have, and they still have, something called CEAT Shopping, which is a retail channel of the company which focuses on tire sales and service. So there are marketing efforts involved in developing the channel. What are the consumer? How do you bring in traffic into the CEAT Shopping? How do you take advantage of festival seasons to improve your sales and so on? And then digital marketing, it's a huge one. I think that's the in thing these days. All of you would be aware of that. And within digital, then there is content marketing. So how do you develop content for brands? Because that itself is a very strong form of communication and building a brand with the end consumer. In an advertising agency, you can also be a copywriter. If you have a penchant for writing or, kind of playing with words and making words communicate what the brand wants to, then you can be a copywriter. That's a very good career in advertising industry. Uh, and if you don't want to do all that and only kind of manage your client, handle their issues, be a good coordinator between your agency and the client, then you can be client services. Okay. Then, of course, creative, which is one of the largest functions in any advertising agency. You can be in creative development. You need a lot of creativity, imagination, good communication skills to be a good creative person. And then again, you can be in operations, which is basically executing your sales and advertising or communication plans in the field. So that is operations. Then you have planning, which talks about how do you make a sales plan, how do you make a marketing plan, how do you make a customer acquisition plan. And then customer service is another part of marketing, which you can do. Research and analytics, I've covered that in my previous slide. Then PR is another big piece which is growing well, public relations, especially now with, digital being the big thing. There are a lot of controversies which brands get into. There are a lot of opportunities which come up to promote your brand. So PR is something which can be looked at as a good option. And then, of course, pricing is another integral part of marketing where you can have a role. I think next one, please. Yeah. Am I audible? Because there's a lot of background noise coming.
Yes, Vinod.
Okay,
Clear.
okay. Yeah. So I'll carry on. Yeah. So I have covered basically what are the industries you can look at and what are the roles in sales and marketing which you can have as options to start off your career. Now let's talk about some desired traits which you would require to be good in sales, right? So this is a mix of skills and mindsets, and that's why I called it traits. So these are some good things which you should have in you, or if it's not there, you can always develop it. So one, of course, I think the most important is strong interpersonal skills. You cannot be a person who doesn't like talking or interacting with other people and do well in sales. You need to have good interpersonal skills and a good communicator. You should be a good communicator. Now, communicator, a lot of times people mistake good communication being, they kind of believe a good communicator is a person who can speak very well in English. No, it's not like that. You can be a good communicator in any language. You should be able to communicate properly what you want the other person to understand. That is communication. Right? It could be in any language. It could be in any way which is the other person understands what you're trying to say. Right? Then in sales, you need a lot of empathy because you need to understand your customer, his situation he's in, what are the problems he's facing which you can solve for him. So empathy is very important. Now, if you don't have empathy and you think, I am always right, what solution or product I have bought will work for you all the time. If you go with that attitude, the customer may not really trust you. Then coming to, of course, you should be good in building trust and relationship quickly because when you're selling to a person, just remember that there are 5 other competitors waiting to sell in the same product or service. So you need to be quick in building the trust and relationship with your customer. Time management has to be good because sales is a reasonably high pressure job, and companies expect more and more from their salespeople now. So you need to be very good at managing your time, and of course, confidence and honesty. Because in sales, it's not always that you will have a great day every day. There will be days when you don't make sales. There will be days when your customers will be snatched away by competitors. But you need to be confident all through that. So that is very important. You need to be very honest with your customers. You cannot make false promises. You may be able to make one sale by a false promise, but next time you will not come. Sales also requires a lot of thinking on feet, largely because customers today are very aware and very intelligent and they're very well informed. So they will pose a lot of counter questions to you, and you should be able to think on your feet, think quickly, and you should have in-depth knowledge about the product you're selling. That is absolutely critical. And of course, you need to have the willingness to learn because every customer is new, every customer has a different requirement. And you will always have competitors of bringing in better stuff or cheaper stuff, and you should be able to learn and adapt and try and change your tools with this. Uh, then, whatever the CRM tools the organization is using, whether it's Skillsoft or Salesforce.com or any other of those IT-based CRM tools, whatever is there in the organization, you should master it. That is very important. Uh, in sales, you also need to have a strong execution orientation. You cannot be only a planning person and then don't execute the plan. So in sales, it's always good to be a better executor than a fantastic planner but bad executor. Because sales is finally about converting the customer to buy your product or service. You should also have a strong commercial acumen because ultimately whatever you sell has to make money for your organization. Many times you sell on credit, you need to collect the money. So you need to have strong commercial acumen, which you will develop over a period of time. And finally, two very important things, you need to be mentally aggressive. Many people say that, salespeople have to be very, very aggressive. They should roll up their sleeves, talk loudly and all that. That's not required. You need to be mentally aggressive. You need to be mentally agile. You should always be thinking, how can I convert this customer faster? How can I, hoodwink my competitor? How can I be a step ahead of competition? So you need to be mentally very aggressive. And you need to have a lot of patience because ultimately you cannot force the customer to buy. It's a process. You need a lot of patience. So these are some of the key traits which you need to develop to be a good salesperson. Okay, nothing next. Yeah. Now, what are the traits required for marketing? Many of them are common. Okay, good communication, time management, in-depth product knowledge. Nobody in your organization should know your product better than you. Then only you can be a good marketing person. You should have a strong learning quotient because there are a lot of things which will happen in your industry, in the industries related to you, in your client's industry. You should be knowing all that, and that keeps changing. So you need to always be learning and updating your knowledge about your product, about the industry, about your customer, and the technologies which are coming in about the product. Because if you don't, your competitor will do a better job than you and bring a better product in the market. Then, of course, I covered earlier CRM tools you should know. You should always have an inquisitive and probing mind because marketing is all about seeking opportunities. So unless you're inquisitive, unless you have a very probing mind, you cannot be good at seeking opportunities. Analytical skills, as I said, as a marketing person, you will have overload of data which comes to you because of all digitalization and all. So you need to be able to analyze the data which is coming and infer actionable data from that. Customer focus has to be very strong. You cannot be a good marketing guy if you just go and sit in the office, sit in front of laptop and make your plans and all. You should make sure that you are meeting at least a certain good number of customers every month at least in the customer's place, either at their homes or in the market or wherever they are working. So if you are working with a fertilizer company, you must go and meet a farmer in the farm itself. If you are working with a paints company, you must go and meet a painter. You must go and meet a person who's getting his house painted and understand what he's doing, how he buys, how he uses, and so on. Process orientation is important because it's all about building your marketing processes and establishing it your company. The other very important trait for a good marketing guy is cross-functional agility, because marketing in most companies is the center of all the activities around which the other functions work. So, as a marketing guy, you need to tell the R&D or the manufacturing person what kind of product my customer wants. You need to tell your supply chain guys how fast, or the logistics guys how fast I want the product to be delivered. You need to tell your finance guys as to what kind of schemes will work for the customer or the channel. You need to link with the sales guys so that they are able to sell properly and get a good price for the product. So you have to have the ability to think across functions as a marketing person. And finally, marketing is not about selling today. It's about how you are going to improve your sales, your market shares in the medium to long term, in the next quarter, in the next year, in the next 3 years. So you should be able to think through that whatever I do today, how it will impact after 3 months, how it will impact next year, how it will impact after, say, 5 years or 3 years. So that ability to think medium to long term is something that you should develop if you are wanting to make a career in marketing. So this is about the desired traits in sales and marketing, which I've tried to put from my experience. Nothing next one. So when you are, so one of the points which Naki had discussed is that one input which all of you wanted was, how do I choose an entry level role? You know, what kind of role should I look for and get as my first job or my job after my MBA or BBA? Yeah, just one more. Yeah. So there are a few pointers I've put. You should be able to find answers for this when you evaluate an organization or a role which you are hunting for. One is that it should have a potential for future growth. So if the company is growing, if the industry is growing, and the company also kind of gives a lot of value for employees' growth, so there are that you have to analyze the potential of the future growth of the company. Look at how the company has performed the last 5-10 years. Are they growing? Is the industry growing? You will get all that data in the net. You don't need to really go out anywhere to find that. Then, does the organization or the role give you a good learning curve? Because you are at the beginning of the career. After 24 years, even today, I'm learning a lot of things new every day. And that is very, very important in the first 5 years of the career, because your MBA and BBA will prepare you up to a certain level. But the practical learning comes from the job, right? So, is there a strong learning curve? Am I going to learn a lot of new things in that role? Am I going to meet different type of customers? Am I going to, be involved with different areas, different technologies, and so on? So, the learning curve you need to judge. Then, of course, the reputation of the organization is very important. A very important parameter in choosing the organization. You look at your cultural fit. There might be certain things about a company you may not like. So you have to see how well you can fit culturally into the organization. Then the company which you are looking at, how is it related to its other competitors? Is it a one of the top 3 or 4 players in the industry? And if there are a lot of players in that industry, is it one among the top 10 companies in the industry? Look at that. Working environment and employee policy is critical. There are a lot of companies who are very particular about work environment. They take care of the employees, are safe. They're not stretched beyond office hours. It doesn't intrude into the family life and so on. There are a lot of companies where you are expected to work even on weekends, late nights, and so on. So you look at it. What you like, you need to understand. Then, of course, compensation. You need to see whether the money which you are getting is good enough for you. And finally, very important is, how does that role fit with your aspiration. So if you want to do, say in 10 years, suppose you want to be head of marketing of an organization or head of sales or head of some other function. So you look at, is this role which I'm going to take today, will it help me in that 10-year journey? Right. So these questions you can have some answers, indications. This will help you choose the right entry level roles. Yeah. So with this, I these are the slides I had. I hope I have answered a lot of questions, but there would be certainly a lot of other questions which are there, and I can take them now.
Right. So Vinod, I mean that was so educational. I mean, I entirely, I was utterly glued to every word that you were saying. I was feeling like a student because I didn't get an opportunity to do MBA in sales and marketing. I've only learned from people around me like you. Few things that stood out for me personally. Maybe they will also resonate with some of the participants. Right at the start, you said that people when they're starting their career, they should look to be away from home. I think that is something I also advise people who take our support. Then you took us through your journey, which was like a virtual. Where do you start in sales and marketing to where you can end, right? So that gave a lot of visibility on that, right? From joining as a management trainee to being the head of marketing, right? And now giving back to the function. Few terms in particular which stood out. So you spoke about mental aggression. I mean, I really like the way you put it together. Because yes, that's people often have that image about salespeople that they are aggressive, loudmouth, and all that, which is not the case. I have seen that in you. I always used to feel like I had that image of salespeople, but when I walked into Vinod's cabin, there was a sense of calm, right? So I always wondered. I used to wonder about that. And of course, you mentioned that good communication doesn't necessarily mean good English. I mean, yes, if you are good at English, it helps. But at the end of the day, communication is about taking a point across to your audience, right? And if you are able to do that, our politicians are a great example. They don't talk in English; they talk in Hindi or vernacular, but they're able to connect, right? And last point, which good that it came towards the last. I just hope it stays with our students, is that out of the factors which you mentioned as people should look at while joining an entry level role, compensation figured fairly low in your scheme, which essentially it means that at the beginning of your career there are a lot of things. Compensation is also important, but it may not necessarily be the factor on which you decide, okay, I am getting a better offer here, so that decides where I will choose, right? It is important, but not the only factor. So with that, I now leave the floor to our moderator, to our students. Indeed, a lot of questions have been covered, but over to you, Abdul, to surface the questions.
Yes, sir. One of the prominent questions that was asked in the questionnaire is that being newcomers, trainees to this field. So of course we are going to face interviews, and I am pretty sure that Vinod sir, you must have faced a lot of interviews, and it is not that it is a bit scary to face an interview when you are new to a field like sales and marketing, and they are like giants of marketing and sales. So it gets a bit scary. So what is your take on how to tackle those situations in an interview? This was the most asked question, so I'm just putting it forward to you.
Okay. There is nothing to feel scared because actually, I'll be very honest. When we go to take interviews in campuses or when we're interviewing people for positions, we are also equally scared. Will I get a good candidate? Yes. So don't be scared. You should look at it as a discussion among equals, because the company also needs good people. You also need a good company with a good role. Correct. So be confident when you are going into that interview. It's a discussion among equals, and I think that gives you a lot of mental peace when you are doing the interview. So, what is important is to be confident while you are doing the interview, and you should do a lot of good preparation about the interview. So, find out about the company, find out about the industry beforehand, and not just net-based research. If you are, say, for example, going for a interview with, say, Asian Paints, okay, and you are applying for a entry-level role in Asian Paints, you should go and spend at least you should go and spend at least 2 to 3 days in the market, visiting paint shops, talking to 2, 3 painters, understanding their perspective about different brands, about Asian Paints, about Berger Paints, about ICI Paints, about Shalimar Paints. Find out and use whatever you find out, make a small synopsis and use that in the discussion in the interview. That will give the interviewer the confidence that this guy has done his research. He has gone into the market and found out about my brand and competition and companies, and he's serious about his job and he's gone about it very methodically. So that is very important. A lot of times when I interview, I find people rattling out information which I have myself put up on my website. He will rattle the website and recite it back to me. It doesn't impress me because he has not done anything. He just sat in front of his computer, read out what learned by heart few points from my website and telling that is nothing. I feel like a robot is talking to me. But if somebody has gone to the market, spoken to few customers, and it's possible, any industry you take, you will wherever you are living near that area, there will be somebody who's involved with that industry. Okay. If you are not able to connect directly with him for some reasons, try and talk to somebody in your family or friends who's related to that particular industry or something. Get some information. It is always good to share first-hand information in interview. It will create a big impression with the interviewer. Do that, you will be confident. The interviewer will also be confident about it.
Azba, over to you. You can ask the next question, please.
Yes, thank you, Abdul. Good morning, sir. I hope I'm audible.
Yes.
So many of our students want to know the recruiter's perspective. The COVID-19 pandemic, it has hit all over the nations and all over the world. So many of our students want to know that whether the COVID-19 has impacted the skills an interviewer is seeking or a recruiter is seeking in an individual, and the employment levels means whether the employment levels and the skills which are demanded have changed in the recent times or not.
See, as far as basic technical skills required for a role, that wouldn't have changed. So if you are into software development and sales, you would need to know about your software, right? So that doesn't change. But there are some other skills which one needs to focus more. So, for example, verbal communication is something which is now very important because today, if you are meeting a customer, you are doing it either on a video call or on a phone call. So you need to be very good at verbal communication. Earlier, even if your verbal communication was not very strong, but you physically go and meet the customer, there are a lot of things which get communicated by body language and things like that. But today, in a video call, you can't really make out body language of somebody, right? So your verbal communication needs to be good. So that is something which companies look at how good the person is at communicating. And then other than that, in terms of skill requirements, pre-COVID versus post-COVID, I don't think there would be too many differences. Communication certainly, and of course the ability to work with a lot of data points, because you are online, you will have a lot of information coming to you and things like that. How you are able to manage that information load and all is something which will improve. But other than that, I don't think there is too much of difference between pre-COVID and post-COVID in terms of what somebody might look for in an interview. Communication would be the key thing.
Vinod, her connected question was, is there has COVID impacted the availability of jobs at large? Is there a significant impact? Yeah.
Okay. Yes, it is. Currently, it is. But if you look at the employment trends in the last 8 months, from March, April, May, it went down drastically, right? The unemployment rates went up. And then after that, it has been consistently growing up. And now it has come back to somewhere close to what it was pre-COVID. As things open up, the employment rates will improve. So I think by the time the final year batches pass out next year, in say March or April 2021, things will be much better than what it is now. So I don't think you should be too worried about it. There might be some in some specific industries there might be issues, like for example airline or hospitality industry like hotels and all that. There might still be a dip, but industries like pharma, industries like digital education, industries like digital industry, e-commerce, this will all they are already doing very well. So you might have some industries which are still slow, but a lot of industries will pick up. So your overall job scene, I think, would be pretty good. So don't get too hassled about that.
Yeah, in fact, I would like to add there, Vinod, we regularly talk to a lot of sectors. So many people, especially in pharma, in agri, in investing, so they have told that this has been their Maersk, for example. I have a close relative working in Maersk Logistics. They said that this is the best year in the history of the company.
Yeah.
Somebody was talking to me about the D.E. Shaw. They are into financial investing. They said this is the best ever year for the company, and like that, many PI industries. I was talking to them. So I think because the negative points tend to get highlighted. Yes, nobody is denying that there is an impact, but life is going on around us, which means products need to be there. People are required for taking it to the audience. So it's all coming back. Yeah.
Saurabh, you can ask the next question. Okay, sir. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, I just wanted to add that it is important to look at which industries are growing, and you can focus and sharpen your job hunts in those industries. So, for example, if you look at say modern retail, which is like your big bazaar or hyper city. I don't know which are the local ones in Delhi, but say like a big bazaar, for example. Now, if somebody wants to get into a modern retail job, it will be that is not growing really fast. But if you look at online retail, that is growing very fast. So maybe you can focus your job hunts in those kind of things. So you should look at those sectors which are growing and focus on. There will be enough opportunities.
Thank you, sir. In this context, we have another question by one of our students, and that is like, since the employment levels are affected badly due to COVID-19, whether they should, go for a job after MBA or should pursue PhD.
See, if you get a job and you want to do a job, then you should do a job. Okay, you can always do a PhD, but then PhD seats are also very limited. So I don't think everybody can look at wanting to do a PhD after their MBA. So that's a very difficult question to answer. But I think you should right now you should focus on your job hunt. I'm sure by it's another 6 months, right? 6 months to April next year, things will look up, and you should focus on your job hunt if that is what you primarily wanted to do. Now, if you wanted to do a PhD initially itself, and if that's what you've chosen, then you go ahead with that. That's not an issue.
So one of the prime things that has happened over the years is that sales has experienced is that the tangibility of the products has been lost, because at first you used to sell like I have this pen. This is one of the biggest cliches of sales, that sell me this pen. I'm not talking about that. However, the tangibility of the products has been lost. Like you don't have some things to sell. Like if you are selling this software, what are you selling and whom are you selling it to? Because none of the sales are now on face to face. It's more like on calls or selling something, an app or something. So what is your take on it?
Okay. I'll tell you. See, tangibility has not gone. A pen still remains a pen. A car still remains a car. Uh, a bar of soap still remains a bar, and you need all of these in your lives. What has changed is the way you are selling it, right? So earlier, like if you are selling a pen, you would advertise a pen in a conventional way, a Reynolds ad. You would display it in a, you do good merchandising, and in a stationery shop or in a kirana shop, you would display it right at the beginning or at the counter so that the customer who walks in sees it very clearly. But today it has gone to online selling. So how you can catch the customer digitally? Which are the, say, social media sites he goes into regularly? Which are the places where he goes to search for his product? Which are the big e-commerce platforms from which he buys his daily goods? Be present there, so you will sell there. So tangibility of the product has not changed. What has changed is the way you are selling it. That's important to understand.
So, but customers mostly appreciate if you provide them with some physical evidence. So, means like in the current situation, there is like a least of it you can do for your customer because you are selling it digitally now. So, do you think that it would affect the sales because you are unable to provide the evidence to the customers? Will it be affecting sales in a way?
No, it will not affect because fundamentally there is a demand for the product. Okay. Now, what will change is how you. So you're right. So I want to buy a pen. Normally, I will go to the shop, see how it is writing. The stationery shop fellow will give me a piece of paper. He'll say, "Aap likh ke dekhiye how smooth it is and all that." Right. So that I may not be able to do as a consumer right now. So what are the alternatives? One is I can build a lot of testimonials from existing customers. Okay, say one of my customer segment is MBA students like you. So when I build my communication, I will get lot of small video clips from MBA students like you from other institutes, and who says I've used Renault pen, it's very smooth, and then I'm very happy and all that stuff. So when an actual user is, recommending a product, then your believability in that will improve rather than say a Deepika Padukone or Akshay Kumar talking about that product. So the way you are selling is changed. Now, a pen is a small product. You may still invest 20 rupees or 50 rupees based on a recommendation by a fellow MBA student. But you may not do that if you are buying a scooter or a motorcycle. So what do? You will not go to a dealership, but you can always have a way wherein the dealership brings the car or the test car or the test bike or the test scooter to your house or your institute for you to ride and see, right? So following all the protocols, COVID protocols, and so that. That's what is happening today. So in products which require physical testing before you do it, that still is happening, but it's happening in a different way.
Yeah.
So we'll take
Sorry.
up the last question now.
Yeah.
If Saurabh will just ask the last question, go ahead, Saurabh.
Yes. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, my question is aligned with the point of influencer marketing. I'm also doing one of project on influencer marketing. And I have observed that the people now are more focused on context of marketing. So do you think that people are now caring more about the value of a product rather than celebrity status or influencers?
Yes. People are obviously more conscious about the value the product brings. A lot of people are now paying lesser attention to celebrities endorsing the product. especially on high value products, okay, and also products which impact the usage. For example, if I am buying a say Horlicks for my kid. Okay, I would go by how good the product is, how my relatives or friends who are giving Horlicks to their children, how are they finding it, rather than a film star endorsing it or a sports star endorsing it. So as a marketer, I will look at it. Okay, I need a film star or a sports star to introduce my product and make people take notice of it. But if I want to convince my customer to buy, then I must go and find a influencer who is from the same community. That is, say, a parent or a mother or somebody who's trying to bring up the child very well. So yes, in that context, what you are saying is right. Purely celebrity advertising is no longer the mantra for ensuring 100% successful sales of a product.
Sir, the second part was the role of influencer marketing. Is this
Okay.
a temporary change, or we will see this for future period also?
No, influencer marketing will grow. Influencer marketing in a lot of developed countries is a very critical part of marketing. It will continue to grow in India because influencer is seen as an expert and somebody who people look up to, right? So it will not change. It will continue to grow.
Thank you, sir.
Naki sir, I'd like
Yes.
to call upon Mr. Jamshed sir to help us and thank the guest speaker. So Jamshed sir, please go ahead and
Yes, Nafis sir, do you want to say something?
Yes, I have a few announcements to make. But do you want me to do that now or after you have you are through?
No, you please go ahead.
Great. So the vote of thanks is reserved for Dr. Jamshed. I'll not steal the show. I have three announcements to make for all our participants, and I am doing this looking at the interest, the kind of the support which students seem to be requiring most at this point of time. So first is, I have noticed, especially in the last two sessions, including this one, a lot of support on interview preparation. So very happy to share that, at Enable, we do something called camp. And I will be sharing the details with all the students where we prepare them for students, by taking mock interviews, by making a lot of Q&As available, by connecting them to people from that kind of sector. That's something that people have found very valuable, especially if you have an interview coming up. It could be a campus interview or a walk-in or something. That is one. Secondly, so certificates as usual. So the game is within 2 hours of the session getting over, people who give feedback will receive their certificates. Last time, 137 people did that. Out of that, 102 people have already been shared their certificate. The remaining will also be getting. Yeah. And third, and the most important, lot of you are looking at a career in sales and marketing, and Vinod had covered that very beautifully. Now, in HR, we have a concept called 70-20-10, which means if you want to learn something, the best way to learn is to do it, right? Which is the 70% of the component. So, very happy to share that Enable would be launching a program on, product management for 3 to 4 such products, and we will be taking a team of 2 for each of those products, and this would be a live project that they will be doing with Enable. People who do this product, we will offer them full support from Enable in terms of their placement, preparation, and all of that, and they would also be enrolled into our role readiness program for this role. Yeah, so I hope because I was seeing a lot of questions around that, I hope that will address some of that. And Vinod, thank you so much. I mean, as I said, it's been a mini MBA, but extremely informative, very educative. 1.5 hours. I have learned a lot, and thank you so much. Over to you, Jamshid sir.
Yeah. Every beautiful thing and every good situation goes to some end, and it's not end, it will continue for life. Whatever you explained today, actually every student in our campus is looking for that. So you just nailed that thing and the right thing, right place. Thanks a lot, Vinod sir, for your contribution, for your expertise, and you came so down to explain all those things, because we all understand your expertise, and if you will talk about your expertise, maybe our student will not able to catch most of the things, but you came so down, and you have just simplify those terms in such a quick manner. It is just impossible to explain, because we was also every now and then we are involved in these activities, and it's very difficult give some clarity regarding all the traits as well as the role. So thanks a lot for your quality time, and I'm really very thankful to the administration to give such a wonderful opportunity to us, and helping us a lot. A special thanks to Dr. Abdullah sir and Dr. Asad Ahmad sir. They help us a lot, and the coordinators, especially the student coordinators in BBA, MBA, MBA first semester, MBA third semester, they help me a lot, and we will continue to do the similar thing. And inshallah, in the next week, we will try to some new topic, that is the business opportunity in food processing. So we'll keep in touch. Vinod sir, we are inviting you whenever you come to Delhi. You give us chance that the students should come. If you don't have time much, you don't have time, then you please inform us. We will come to you to meet at your place. As if you have a time, you come and visit our beautiful campus. It's it's a Tughlaq's place. If you will come, you will see that how beautiful it is, and you will like it. I am 100% sure. If you will get some time, please inform us. I hope that you are visiting Delhi with some.
Yes, I do come regularly to Delhi. At least once.
Please inform us. Our student will love to meet you, and the touch they will try to connect with you with LinkedIn, and wherever they possible, any help they need. I think that they are looking for you. That Vinod sir is there. And thanks a lot. The special thanks to Nati sir. Is so cooperative, and so making the entire activity very meaningful, significant, and he cannot express his contribution in words. It's a very honest contribution he is giving for our students. Thanks a lot. We'll meet very soon, inshallah.
And Vinod, all the best for taking sand to a great level, and I'm sure that will happen very soon. All the best.
One more question that some students want to ask: that what sand is doing? What is the work of the sand? That is not.
Yeah, he explained, Dr. Jamshed. He took us through that.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Vinod. Thank you. I know you have another appointment coming up. Thank you so much. Thanks, Vinod.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for having me. Thank you. Good day. All the best.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.